Hi, I am the Brick Perfectionist. Today I am going to be rebuilding my own version of 7620, as well as creating my own backdrop to place behind the set. The main thing that I wanted to focus on in my artwork was creating depth. I used a reference photo taken directly from the movie where the motorcycle chase occurs. After my sketch was looking closer to the reference photo, I moved into outlining with micron pens. In order to emphasize some of the closer objects, I outlined them in Sharpie to create a thicker line. I was unable to resupply my grayscale Copic markers in time for this video. However, I was able to use some backup alcohol-based markers to complete my illustration. Using the grayscale markers, I worked from lightest to darkest in order to create a more shaded, wooded area. After this, I highlighted everything in a yellowish green to warm up the other colors that would be placed on top. I then switched between different shades of yellow, green, some blue, and brown. I finalized my backdrop by desaturating some of the colors with gray and using a white pen to highlight some of the edges that are being caught by the most light. Here is the speed build for my first mock, Sidecar Pursuit, with 244 pieces. Given the fact that LEGO created 77012 to represent the end of this chase, I doubt we will see an official re-release of this set. I really wanted to see all of the existing LEGO Indiana Jones sets remade, so I will be creating my own version of each of them. I will absolutely be posting more Indiana Jones videos in the future, but I wanted to see what LEGO had in mind first. At the moment, I do not have any instructions created for this build. When I can download LEGO Digital Designer, then I will go ahead and post the instructions in the description below. I tried my best to build this in a very similar fashion to the way that LEGO would, although I did not worry as much about the amount of pieces that I used. There are some parts to my set that I would like to substitute different colors for in the future. I am unsure if the motorcycle piece that I used is available in a dark gray, but I would like to find a light gray piece for all of the window frames and the door frame. I decided to use 5 different pieces that already had stickers on them. 4 of them are from 7936 Level Crossing, a LEGO City set from 2010. The final piece is from set 60267 Safari Off-Roader from 2020. The most challenging part about remaking this set was the sidecar, and more specifically, its wheel well. I had lots of fun coming up with new pieces to use in my build, especially because the previous version was released 15 years ago. If there are any specific rebuilds you would like to see in the future, please let me know in the comments section. I would like to restrict myself to smaller rebuilds for the time being. That way I can figure out the pacing of my channel a little bit better. In the future, I will work my way up to some of the larger builds. Now that we've reached the end of the speed build, let's take a closer look at the minifigures that I decided to use. First, we have Indiana Jones, who comes with a custom flagpole that looks like a lightsaber at the bottom. I reused this figure from set 77012. If you'd like to hear more information about this figure and the next, check out my last video, which I will leave a link at the top right of your screen. Here we have Henry Jones Sr., who I gave the newer version of the briefcase as well as a black umbrella. Next, I use the ATST driver from 75332. I thought it would be funny to include a Star Wars minifigure and not modify a single thing about him, which is the exact same thing I did for the final figure. This is Taladureth from set 75334, based off the Kenobi show. And here is my custom build completed. First, let's take a closer look at the motorcycle sidecar combo. Here's that challenging wheel well that I was talking about earlier. Although this part is a little flimsy, I am very happy with its shape. I was able to include the spare tire on the sidecar as well as the license plate on the motorcycle. I made sure to leave plenty of room underneath both of the vehicles. Here is the broken section of the flagpole, which is represented with just 3 pieces. And here is my new version of one crate that also has a wrench inside. The gate can lift up very easy, which is supported by a post that runs into a piece of land. On the second motorcycle, we have the ATST driver, who I think works fairly well for one of the guys trying to chase both Indiana Jones and his dad. I use a hammer piece for the kickstand, which makes it a lot easier to set the motorcycle upright. Next, we have the guard post, which this time I wanted to make completely enclosed. That way you have a proper location to seat the final minifigure. The gate was also a challenging build. I was aiming to make everything as close as possible to what we saw in the Last Crusade. Here is Tara Dureth, who I have chosen as my gate guard, which was never included as a minifigure in the original version of the set. And here is what both of the sets look like side by side. I used the same techniques as shown in my other videos to hold my backdrop. In order to tie the pieces in with my backdrop, I created a little bit of land as well as some rocks and some foliage. Thank you so much to all of you who have been complimenting my artwork. I appreciate everyone's support, and I hope I can continue to make everyone happy with the content in my videos. I would also like to announce that I will be posting my next video 2 weeks from now instead of 1 week. I had a hard time figuring out where to begin with my Star Wars sets. I decided to work on them chronologically from the year that they were released, starting with the X-Wing fighter from Dagobah. This is the first set that I have an updated version of, which is 75330 Dagobah Jedi Training. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video on August 25th.